Welcome to my channel. My name is Amy and I live in this camper on the east coast of Australia. Over the past 5 years I've been slowly renovating my caravan into my dream home, chipping away at it when I have the time and the money. This episode is part 3, where you'll finally see me paint my caravan after a lot of sweat and tears. Finally, paint day has arrived. So I got up at like 5 o'clock this morning and started taping all the windows and everything that I don't want to paint. And that I thought was going to take, I don't know, 30 minutes to an hour. It's ended up taking about 3 to 4 hours to tape the entire van. I have to like slow down and go around and really take my time and double check things, because I find I naturally like to rush things and get things done. But with a process like this, you definitely can't rush things. You've got to double check things and really like rehearse, I guess, the steps in your mind and really understand what it is that you're actually about to do, rather than just trying to wing it, because as you've seen, I don't want to have to remove the paint again, because this has been such a long, horrible process, even getting to this stage. So I never want to have to do this again. Hey, what are you doing? Hey! My goodness, I just got attacked by a lizard. This little tiny lizard just like ran down the tree and ran at me and like stood up at me. Wish I got that on camera, it's quite funny. Anyway, so this is the paint that I'm using. It's White Knight Rust Guard. The company that manufactures this paint literally provided me with a PDF document on exactly how to paint a caravan using this paint. So they believe that this paint, I guess, is used for lots of different situations, but can definitely be used for a caravan. I actually called a couple of different paint companies like Dulux just to get some advice on if they had a paint that I could use, and they actually said none of their paints were suitable. So the fact that I found a company that was able to provide me with a document on how to paint a caravan using their paint felt quite promising. It gave me a sense of trust in the product as well. I also went on some Facebook group forums and had a look at like what other people use to paint their caravans, and there was a lot of people recommending this paint and that they'd used it on their caravan, and they showed pictures and it seemed to be pretty good. Obviously, I'd much prefer to use automotive paint because the finish that you'd get by using that paint is outstanding. However, I don't have $4,000 to spend on paint. And this literally cost me, I think off the top of my head, like around $120 per tin. So I've got one tin of the SLS Etch Primer. So I put that on and then I wait 2 hours, and then I put on Rust Guard Quick Dry Advanced Enamel Top Coat in just, what's this one? A white gloss finish. So yeah, I'm painting the caravan white, if you didn't know. I thought white is easy, it's not going to date, it's going to keep the caravan cool, and I think it'll keep the caravan looking quite modern with the black windows and just having a plain white caravan. I felt like if I painted it a colour or had some kind of like feature colour on the caravan, I might like it now, but in 2 years I might not like it. Or if I go to sell the caravan, it might make it harder to sell depending on what colour I may have chosen. So I thought going with white is just easy. So yeah, white it is. With the Etch Primer, I actually have to, because I'm using a spray gun, if you're using a brush or a roller, you don't have to dilute this. But if you're using a spray gun, you have to dilute it by 10%. So that's what I'm about to do. Now, I bought this, hang on. There's something missing. I think it's over there. Just let me grab it, hang on. Okay, so I got this as the stirrer to just stir the paint. It says to stir it for literally 5 minutes before using it. So I'll be stirring for a while. And then I've got this, which came with the spray gun, which is what you put into like the pot at the bottom of the spray gun. And depending on how full you've got, like the little pot, jug, whatever you want to call it, at the bottom of the spray gun, it shows you here, for example, if I filled it, let me come closer so you guys can see. Hope it's still focusing. So I hope you can see this. So if I filled it, say, to here, then this much here is how much I have to dilute it by. Like this is the 10%. Whereas if I fill it to here, this little bit is the 10%. Yeah, 10% is the up part. So yeah, apparently, I don't know if I have to dilute the top coat. If I do, it's not with thinners, whereas the edge primer is diluted with thinners. The top coat is a water-based paint, so hence why the caravan can't get rained on for 24 hours. And I think that if I dilute that, it's actually with water. But I'm yet to read, I'm not at that stage yet, so I haven't read the can to double check what the steps are involved there. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is mix a bit of the primer now into the spray gun, and then I'm going to actually practice with the spray gun on just a piece of cardboard, and then I'm going to spray the roof first, because if I make any mistakes, at least it's on the roof. So it gives me an opportunity to get used to the spray gun and how it's actually going to work. Yeah. Anyway, wish me luck. Okay, so what I'm doing here is what I've already done to the roof. You guys saw me doing that the other day when it was way too hot sitting on the roof. Definitely should have waited and done it today when it's under the tarp, but I wasn't to know at that point that I had to even put the caravan under a tarp. If you guys haven't watched my previous episode, I recommend checking that out just to understand more of this process and how I've gotten to this point. But basically what I got to do is use this wax and grease remover and just like wipe it over the whole caravan until this isn't dirty. So this is still showing up a bit of dirt. I find like it's never ending. I've actually gurneyed the entire caravan, thinking that that'd get a lot of the dust off, and then I've wiped this over sort of roughly once, and I find like I actually have to wipe it over a few times to be able to get a clean cloth. I'm not even going to know what to do with myself when I've finished painting the caravan. Because this is all I've been doing for so long now. Nah, next week when I've finished, hopefully, if this all goes to plan today, it's Sunday today. Yes, it's Sunday today. I had to think there for a second because all the days are kind of blurring into one for me. But yeah, once this is done Tuesday, so my next episode, you'll see me having the caravan weighed. There's a man that actually lives up the road who has like a caravan mobile weighing business, so he's going to come here. I'm going to put the caravan on the driveway and he's going to weigh it and see how much it weighs after painting it, which, you know, won't be that much from painting, but mainly after I've done the rebuild inside. So I actually don't know what the new weight of the van is because it was weighed before I renovated it, right? So he's going to tell me that, and then once we know what the weight is, it's a bit of a workout. Once we know what the weight is, then I'm having a caravan engineer come out, and he's actually going to have a look at the chassis underneath, see if it needs any repairs at all, and tell me based on the weight whether or not the chassis is like in good condition underneath and rated to the right weight for what the caravan now weighs. I'm nearly halfway done with the edge primer. I've done the whole roof, the back end and the side. But unfortunately, although I feel like my technique is okay, I do have a few runs. So once the edge primer is dry, I'm actually going to do a little bit of YouTubing to see what I can do to fix a couple of spots that you can see in the sunlight that have kind of run a little bit. I'm hoping that as it dries it might actually fix itself, but we'll see. I think that's also the benefit of using a white paint, because it'll be so bright and glary that you might not actually see imperfections like that, and I'm just seeing it because it is grey at the moment. But I'd rather be safe than sorry, so I'm going to do some research to see if there's anything I can do before putting the top coat on to fix those runs.